Apologies. Shabbat shalom.
Thank you for saying that. You were talking to him. I understand. It's fine.
He said gentleman.
You said gentleman. Gentleman. I understand. I was confused with Harry. Which is why. This place is weird. I mean, you know, the world. There's nowhere left to go, though. There's nowhere left to go. First I thought Canada, but you can't go to Canada anymore either.
Really?
Why?
Israel's your go-to?
Israel's such a mess. I mean, I would go to Israel, but it's such a mess. It's the 17th election in, whatever. You just can't stop it. It's all Orthodox. We'd have a hard time. All right. You ready for this?
Let's bust the vocal cord.
Hello, everyone. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
We are going to hit this button.
Hey, we fit.
Oh, we fit. Well, we fit on this screen. I'm going to move over because I don't know. Sometimes it cuts me. It cuts out this left side. I don't know. Our live stream is on, hypothetically. So, I mean, it's on. Don't know. Hopefully out there, hello, Shabbat Shalom to you who are watching. I hope that is working. It is the plan. It is the plan for our technology to work very well this morning.
It worked last night very well.
It worked last night very well. There was sound and you could see us, which is a good start. And this morning, we're hoping that all of the pieces work. So the live stream, the sound, and also when we get to our Torah study section, that our owl will work. So, just a regular owl. Just the, it's called the meeting owl. So, oh, we should probably turn it on. Is it on? I don't even know if it's on. There's a button. Where's the button?
Turn it the other way.
Is it the other way? There we go. Now it's on. There we go. Now it's on. Hypothetical.
Where'd you get your tech degree from?
Yeah. I got it from HUC, which is a bad place to get it from. That's where my tech degree came from. So, and most importantly on the Shabbat, this is day 2 of Rabbi Khan here with us in the house. We are so excited to have our brand new rabbi here.
For the rest
She's
of her
sitting
life.
right here. She came in this morning, and I was shocked that she came back for day 2. So she decided to come back after day 1, and we are thrilled that she is here. We got to meet her last night, and her husband Matt, and her 2 kids who were so enthralled by and overwhelmed by the service, the sermon particularly, I think, that they were completely asleep by the time I was done. So, no, it's fine. It's everyone's bedtime, which is everyone was snoozing a little bit during the service.
It's my bedtime too.
It was our bedtime too. So yes. So Rowie and Stella May are the 2 fabulous kids that you'll hopefully meet for many years to come. And so we got to welcome the entire family here to CBI, and we'll be seeing a bunch of Rabbi Khan come in soon. We're easing her in, which is why she just she lit candles for us, and we introduced the family, and then starting next week we're going to take off for the next 6 months. And yeah, exactly. And she's going to run the whole place. So surprise! And she's taking off. She's run the whole show. It's good. Yeah. No, we have not.
No, but I've heard Rabbi Keller sing.
Yeah, you have exactly,
I mean,
exactly. So let's delve into some nice Shabbat together. It's lovely to be with everyone. If you have not been here for a while, you're here for the first time. Your prayer book is right under your seat. So if it's not there, it's maybe under the seat next to you or a seat in front of you. But the prayer book should be right under your seat. Make sure that it says Mishkan Tefillah on it, and please make sure that it says Shabbat on the cover, because we have had the weekday and festival ones in this room also, and they look almost identical, except for the cover. So please make sure and check your Siddur. Those of you in our live stream, you can also join us, of course, for the full service, virtually also, cbiboca.org. Hit the menu button at the top of our website, and then services, and then scroll down a little bit. Well, you'll see, like last night, Regal Hops, followed by Cantor Muchnick, and right next to Cantor Muchnick, there's a button that says Virtual Prayer Book. Hit that button, and then you'll be able to join us for the entirety of the service. All right, let's not that much longer. That's right. We should probably mention that. Without notice, well, they said with some notice, but they mostly without notice, are the CCAR, the Central Council of American Rabbis, who publishes all of our prayer books, said that the virtual ones are going to be coming down. So they would like for people to purchase them rather than have them available on the site for free. So coming soon, you're going to have to purchase them. But it's a one-time purchase. It's $10, and then you'll have a virtual prayer book that's downloaded into whatever device you prefer, and it's there. You go into an iPad or a computer or whatever, and then you'll have it forever. The same, by the way, will be true, we should mention, for the high holidays. Last year and the previous year, I believe, they had the virtual high holiday prayer book. They are taking that down as well. Well, actually, that's down already, so that's not even available on their site. That's down already, and they're going to also want you to purchase the $10 one for Rosh Hashanah and the $10 one for Yom Kippur. So yes, that's $20. But then once again,
it's a one-time purchase.
One-time purchase, and then you'll own it, and then you'll have it. But there's your CCAR press update, brought to you by inflation. Exactly, brought to you by inflation. All right, let's begin our service. Modeh Ani 170.
Modeh Ani lefanecha. Melech v'kayam, shechezarta b'nishmati b'chemla, Rabba emunatecha, Modeh Ani lefanecha, Melech v'kayam, shechezarta b'nishmati b'chemla, Rabba emunateh, Rabba emunatecha.
Nisim b'chol yom, our daily blessings and miracles, 175.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lesachvi mina, lehavchin ben yom uben layla.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, pokeach ivrim.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, matir asurim.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, zokef kefufim.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, rokah retalamayim.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamechin metzadei gaveh.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, malbish sharumim.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hanoten layaev koach.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamavir sheina meinai, utnuma me'afapai.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani b'tzelem Elohim.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani ben chorin.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani Yisrael.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu. Morning fog. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ozer Yisrael b'gvura.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam oter Yisrael v'tifara.
Amen.
We continue with Psukei de Zimra. Our praises, verses of praise here with our connection through a little bit of Psalms this morning, 183.
Baruch she'amar v'haya haolam.
Baruch Hu.
Baruch Oseh v'Reshit.
Baruch Omer ve'oseh.
Baruch Ozerem Kayeh.
Baruch merachem al haaretz.
Baruch Merachem al Abriot.
Baruch meshalem sachar tov l're'av.
Baruch Chaylad v'Kayam LaNetzach.
Baruch podeh matzil Baruch shemo.
Blessed is the one who spoke and the world came to be.
Blessed is the one.
Blessed is the one who continually authors creation.
Blessed is the one whose word is deed.
Blessed is the one who decrees and fulfills.
Blessed is the one who's compassionate towards the world.
Blessed is the one who's compassionate towards all creatures.
Blessed is the one who rewards the reverent.
Blessed is the one who exists for all time, ever enduring.
Blessed is the one who redeems and saves. Blessed is God's name.
Baruch atah Adonai, melech me'olal batishbachot.
Amen.
Oh no, it's just singing through it. Thank you, though.
I like to do the same thing. I just like to sing through it. That's what I like to do.
We know.
I like to just sing through it, no matter what pain it causes people. We're going to continue Shochen Ad, middle of page 192.
Shochen ad marom v'kadosh shemo v'chatuv ranenu tzadikim Adonai laisharim navatehila Befi yesharim titalal u'divrei tzadikim titbarach Uveshon chasidim titromam, uvekerev kedoshim titkadash, uvemakalot rivevot, amcha beit Yisrael, berina yitpa'ar, shimcha malkeinu, bechol dor vador, ishtabach shimcha, la'ad malkeinu, Ha'el ha'melech ha'gadol, ve'ha'kadosh b'shamayim u'ba'aretz, Baruch atah Adonai, El melech gadol b'tishbachot, El ha'hodaot, Adon ha'niflaot, ha'bocher b'shirei zimra, Melech elchei ha'olamim.
Chatzi Kaddish 194.
Yitkadal ve'yitkadash shemei rabba.
Amen.
Ve'olma divrach chirutei ve'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon u'vyomechon u'chayei dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'gala, ba'gala, u'vizman karim ve'imeru. Amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevorach. Le'olam ol mehamaya yitbarach. Yitbarach ve'yishtabach. Vidpar vitroma mitnaseh. Ve'yitadar ve'yitale ve'yitalal. Shemei de kudesha berichu. Le'ela min kol berchata ve'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata damiran me'alma ve'imeru.
Amen. We stand for the Baruch Hu 195.
Baruch Hu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach. Le'olam ha'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam yotzer rov v'choshech oseh shalom uvoreh et hakol. Please be seated. We continue Ahava Rabbah 198.
Ahava Rabbah aftanu Adonai Eloheinu Chemla gedola v'terach
אמרת עלינו
בעבור אבותינו ואימותינו שבטחו בך ותלמידינו חוקי חיים. והאר עינינו בתורתך ודבק ליבנו במצוותיך ויחד לבבינו לאהבה וליראה את שמך ולא נבוש ולא ניכלם ולא ניכשל לעולם ועד כי בשם קודשך הגדול והנורא בטחנו נגילה ונשמחה נגילה ונשמחה בישועתך. ברוך אתה אדוני הבוחר בעמו ישראל באהבה.
Page 200.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
201.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
202.
ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור דבר אל בני ישראל ואמרת עליהם ועשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורתם ונתנו על ציצית הכנף בחיל תכלת והיה לכם לציצית וריתם אותו וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני ועשיתם אותם ולא תטורו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם אשר אתם זונים אחריהם למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. We continue with our song of redemption, Mi Chamocha, 204.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. שירה חדשה שמחו גאולים, לשמך אספת הים יחד כולם הודו והמליכו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם. Yisrael, Kuma Be'ezrat Yisrael, Ufteichin Mecha, Yehuda Be'Yisrael, Go Aleinu, Adonai Tzevaot Shemo, Kedosh Yisrael, Baruch atah Adonai, Gaal Yisrael.
Amidah, we continue, page 205.
Adonai sifatai tiftach, ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el ha'gadol ha'ibor v'hanora, El Elyon, Gomel chasadim tovim, v'kodne hakol, v'zocher chastei avot ve'imahot, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, צומח נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות. מי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל.
Kedusha 208.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב היד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש קדוש קדוש, אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ, כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני, אדוננו מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו.
חמיו
לעיני כל חי, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון, לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גוד לך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושמך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
We continue silently now, beginning here on page 210 and going through page 219. When you're finished, please be seated. Continue on page 219.
Ose shalom bimromav, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Ose shalom bimromav, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Yase shalom, yase shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yase shalom, yase shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yase shalom, yase shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yase shalom, yase shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yase shalom, yase shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
We continue now from our words of peace and our blessings of peace into our service for reading the Torah on this fine Shabbat morning. Seder Kriyat HaTorah, the Shabbat 244.
Ein kamocha va'elohim Adonai, ve'ein kemasecha, malchutecha malchut kol olamim, umemshaltecha bechol dor v'hador. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai imloch, leolam Adonai oz le'amo yitain. Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom.
Please stand.
Al harachamim etiva v'tzoncha et Zion. Tivne chomot Yerushalayim ki vecha levad batachnu melech elam v'nisa Adon olamim.
246.
Ki mitzion tetzeh Torah, ki mitzion tetzeh Torah, ulevar Adonai mirushalayim.
248.
Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, le'amo Yisrael, mikdushato. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo, Gadlul Adonai iti, Uneromema Shemo Yachdav.
Please be seated. We're going to continue with some Torah chanting this morning. You want to do Torah first? Or you want to do that first? Yeah, let's do Torah first. Yeah, let's do Torah first. Great. Our Balat Kriya is going to be Susie Glatt, because it is the same Torah portion that she chatted when she became Bat Mitzvah on Masada. So we're going to recreate Masada, and we're going to turn off the air conditioning for the next few minutes and make it really, really warm. Because no matter when you go to Masada, it's always warm, no matter what. So we're gonna do that. Anyone kind of in the mood for doing the Aliyah this morning? All right, please. 250. Robin, you come too. How's that going? Going to the waiting room. Okay, nice. Well done. 250. We're on page 250 for our blessings. The ancient sound of the Velcro. 250. All right. Remind me. Ta'amod Rivka Leah bat Tzvi Chana ve Malka bat David. Remember, L'Aliyah Torah.
Baruchu et Adonai Hamvorach.
Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. Vayikach Korach ben Yitzhar ben Kehat ben Levi v'Datan v'Aviram b'nei Eliav v'On ben Pelet b'nei Reuven. Vayakumu lifnei Moshe anashim mibnei Yisrael 50 u'matayim nisiei eda kiryei moed anshe Shem. Vayikahalu al Moshe v'al Aharon vayomru Aleihem Rab lachem ki kol ha'eda kulam kedoshim uvtocham Adonai umadua titnasu al kahal Adonai.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen.
Yasher koach, Susan.
You too. Okay, you're going to do this?
Speaking of Masada, if you'd like to visit Masada, soon, in the immense heat, congregation B'nai Israel is going to Israel. So you're welcome to join us. It is June 11th. So it is coming up soon. And you too can sweat appropriately on Masada and enjoy it. That is soon. What's that? June 11th, 23. Yes, June 11th, 23. Yes. Yes. The 11th through the 22nd. There's a flyer in the back if you'd like that our marketing department put together. It's beautiful if you'd like to join us. All right, we'll move the screen back. Let's see if it works. Do we have people in the... We do. All right. Is it working?
It's working.
Wait, something unplugged, though. What's that? Oh, is it the battery that unplugged from that?
Good Shabbos.
Hey, there you are. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Hey, Ian.
Morning.
Morning, everyone.
Renee. Good morning, Renee.
Morning. Good to see you all.
Hi, good morning. This is fun. I like this owl thing. It didn't hoot, though. I still want it to hoot. It's supposed to hoot. It didn't hoot. I'm sad about that. Did you see it looks like an owl? See that? It looks like a little owl with the eyes. See with the little eyes? See the little eyes and the nose? Ooh, ooh. It's supposed to hoot when it turns on. Still hasn't done it yet. All right, let's do a little Torah study, friends. We are in the Torah portion of Korach, as you might have guessed, beautifully chanted by Susie. If you need a Torah book, and you are here for the first time or not in a while, it's in the front of your seat. In the back of your seat is the Siddur, in the front of your seat is the Torah book. Once again, we will be in the Torah portion called Korach. This is in the book of Numbers, and it is chapter 16. 16:1 in the book of Numbers. Don't forget, lots of ways to get there. Start at the beginning of Numbers and go to 16. You could go to Deuteronomy and then go backwards if you wanted to. You could go to Genesis and then go through that whole thing if you want to, and then all the way back there, but if you want to. Or just go to 16:1, or find the heading that says Korach in your book. Or you could follow whatever page Harry tells you, but he's going to only tell it to you subconsciously. So you're not going to be able to actually... What's that? Use table of contents. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Bob. You use the table of contents is a great way to get there. Or you could do that. But I have a different book. I'm on page 319. So it makes it very confusing if you shout out page numbers. It's very confusing. It's very confusing. Which is why it's better to go than say number 16, because then it's easier to find. Just saying. All right. Let's do our blessing. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. All right, so Korach is the name of this week's Torah portion. There are 6 Torah portions in the Torah that are named after a person. Korach is one of them. Can we do the other 5 to begin our Torah study conversation? Who can name one of the other 5 Torah portions in the Torah that are named after a person? Yes. Pinchas. That is 2. Sarah. Noach, Yitro, and Balak. Very good. Excellent. That was very fast, everyone. Nice job. And many of those are coming up. So we're in Korach. We're definitely get a little Balak coming up soon, and that's the talking donkey. You know, everyone has to see Shrek before that one because he's a talking donkey. And then you got Pinchas. He was a fascinating character to begin with. Whoo, Pinchas. All right. So Korach is in the list of the six names that we named Torah portions for, and he is an interesting character. We'll find out soon his lineage and his connection to his lineage, and then perhaps whether we like him or don't like him, if we agree or disagree with what he did or does. Let's just see. So how do we feel about that? Good? Yes? All right. So in person, this is still nice. It's still only the third time we're gonna get to be in person. And how many people? 8 people. 7. Oh, that's awesome. 6. Oh, it's dropping. Stop saying how many people are on there. My gosh. We just started and people are dropping. We haven't even said anything and people are upset and leaving. That's terrible. Maybe that's why they're leaving. I'm sorry. We haven't even done anything. Okay, I'm going to hand it over to Linda. All right, please. Let's start. Let's do a little reading.
Now Korach, son of Ishar, son of Kohath, son of Levi, took himself, along with Datan and Abiram, sons of Eliab, and On, son of Peleth, descendants of Reuben, to rise up against Moses, together with 250 representatives of the Israelites, chieftains of the community, chosen in the assembly with fine reputations. They combined against Moses and Aaron and said to them, "You have gone too far, for all the community are holy, all of them, and the Eternal is in their midst. Why then do you raise yourselves above the Eternal's congregation?"
Okay, thank you. All right, so what do we have so far? What do we know? What's the setup? What's going on? What does the Torah portion give us just to launch into to start the dialogue? What do we know?
Some people aren't happy with Moses.
All right, so there are clearly some people who aren't happy with Moses. Where are we? Where are we in sort of in the steps? Where are we? How far are we? What's going on? What have we accomplished? Where are we in the story of the Israelites? Yeah. Go ahead.
We're in the desert, we're still wandering.
Great. So we're in the desert. We're still wandering. Great. It's definitely beyond the 2-year mark. We have spent all of Leviticus, right? Because Leviticus is behind us. We've spent all of Leviticus. So essentially we know all the ritual, we know the structure, we've learned all that, right? We've had some bad lessons, we've had some good lessons. And so, okay. And so now we started to wander again. We started to move forward. Great, okay.
And we know we're going to be moving for the next 40 years.
And we know that we're moving. Yeah, I mean we're wandering. That's it. The official wandering has begun because there was just like warm-up wandering in the book of Exodus. Then we stopped for the entire book of Leviticus. We're kind of just camped, and then we pick up back here, and we're done. I mean, the wandering this is it. This is the 40 years is going to be in the book of Numbers, right? So we know it's coming. Yes. Yes.
I read a commentary that talks about this, and it says that the underlying issue behind the contempt was really driven by the whites. And it was Korach's wife felt that he should be the leader, and that he was more capable of leading. And they weren't really, the people themselves were kind of lost and didn't have the confidence and faith, if you will, of where we were heading, what we were doing and wandering. But it was the wife behind Korach's ear saying, "You can do this, you can do this, you can do this," and voting against Moses.
Okay, I mean it's possible, right? There are lots of ways to look at the commentary that maybe it was, which is what a nice supporting couple would do anyone to say, maybe you're due, right? So why don't you speak up and say something, whether it's your husband or wife or whatever situation. Someone could be like, you know what, it's time, step up. It's interesting you say that because I think it's even important to think about what's Korach's connection to Moses and Aaron and Miriam? Like, is there a close connection or a distant connection? He's a Levite. So does that mean that there's a close connection or that he's a distant connection if he's a Levite? What's that? It's the same tribe. Yes, exactly. So it's the same tribe. So this is perhaps why Korach kind of gets the ability, if you will, to the chutzpah, because he's the one to be like, look, I'm in the same tribe as you. It's not like I'm in like Issachar or Gad or something out there far like that. I'm not in one of those other ones. Like we're a Levite. So you're a Levite, Aaron is a Levite, Miriam is a Levite, so I'm a Levite too. So what gives you the right to stand up here and make all the decisions for us, particularly if I have the backing of my family who says, go speak up, it's time for you. You're a Levite. So, yeah. Yeah, so right, it is not just Korach, right? It's not just Korach, and particularly Datan and Aviram, who are the closest henchmen, if you will, who are his right and left hand. But there are 250 other people, and by the way, the number's going to get even bigger later because there's going to be a plague for even a bigger argument that happens, and then we're going to get really ugly. That number's going to get really ugly later in the Torah portion. That's going to jump into the thousands. So, yeah, Dr. Bob.
Well, first of all, in terms of who they are, it's a broad spectrum of society. It's not necessarily just the top tribes. But the thing I find interesting about this is it's so out of character for slave people to try to take over. In all the other times we talk about the Israelites, we excuse them because they were slave people. They weren't used to giving orders. They weren't used to taking charge. And here we've got, somebody who's actually, changing that motif.
Oh, that's very interesting. So, right, so a slave people who really doesn't even know from leadership, right, because they have been slaves for 400 years, suddenly it dawns on them that they can be leaders, right? So interesting. So what is it that, what sort of draws Korach into this moment then for us? Like why does Korach suddenly make this decision? He needs to try to get the helm here. Why do that? Susie and then Robin, yeah. And then who's ever on the,
I was going
yeah.
to say, it's not just Korach, he's got 250 community leaders.
Yeah, right, so there's a backing. There's a backing for this conversation. Yeah, Robin. Right, so God certainly plays a complicated and interesting factor into this and into all of our conversations, right? Because who does God pick? Moses. Who does God pick every time? Moses. Who's the greatest prophet of all time? Moses. Moses, great. So it becomes complicated for really anyone who's going to come and try to be this next leader, particularly in this situation, because Moses is Moses. So it does complicate the situation because of the relationship, first of all, who Moses is, and then also God's relationship with Moses. So, yeah, is there some hands in the Zoom? Yeah.
Marcia, go ahead.
He's actually being very arrogant. He should have asked for an audience to sit down and discuss things with him. But no, he takes it upon himself to just come with the crowd. That's not right. And it doesn't speak well for him.
Nice. All right. So, right, there's this dialogue that a lot of the commentaries talk about on the nuance in which Korach brings himself to the dialogue, right? Almost to say, if us to think about it, right, is it allowed for us to challenge authority? Absolutely, it's allowed for us to challenge authority. In fact, we're Jews, so it's our job to challenge authority. It's what we do. However, it's not our job to show up with a big stick and challenge authority, right? It's our job to challenge authority with our brains, right? With thoughtfulness, with an approach in which we think we can achieve what we want to achieve, as opposed to just showing up and barking, right? Because that doesn't necessarily work. Sometimes it does work, but we know, for instance, fast forward, it doesn't work in this case. So, yeah, yes. Yeah. Right. Yeah. This is Korach's beef. Right. How come you elevate yourself among everybody? Now the question is Moses elevating himself above everybody, or is God elevating Moses above everybody? And then how is then Moses acting in that way, which also complicates the situation. Right? Because just because someone gives you power, it doesn't mean that you need to abuse that power also. Because one who gives you power can be like, now you're in charge. Now that person who becomes in charge can be like, I'm in charge, haha. That means I'm better than you and higher than you. And I mean, I can do that, but I can also say, haha, I'm in charge. But just because I'm in charge, it doesn't mean that I put myself above you. It means that we still work together. It means that there are different leadership styles. So, and what the commentary usually says is Moses was not that kind of leader. Usually, yes. Correct. Right. So there was hypothetically, there was humility filled in each one of his actions.
If we assume that Korah believed that Moses was a prophet of God,
yeah.
that means he's challenging God directly.
Yeah. Go ahead, Rabbi. Go ahead, Rabbi. Jump in.
No, I mean, first of all, it's okay to challenge God directly, and also, I think what Korah was saying is not inaccurate. We've been told we're a kingdom of priests. We're told that our job is kiddushim tihiyu. We're told that God dwells among us, and there's lots of commentary that says Moses not held himself above, but separated himself from the community. We're told he possibly neglected his wife, that he had to wear a veil. So I don't think what Korah, the nuance for me that I've come to understand is that it's not that what Korah's arguing is necessarily incorrect, it's that the way he does it is incorrect.
Like honey and vinegar. Exactly. Exactly. Yes. Who's on the Zoom? Gail.
Yeah, I was going to say about the honey and vinegar. It's his approach as to what it was, that taking vinegar to an extreme level. And it was God that put Moses in charge, and he didn't want it in the first place. And he shows humility.
Nice. All right. Thank you. Yeah, Harry.
Well, put ourselves back in this period of time.
Great.
And at this time, they're already 2 years or so into wandering, and they're being told all these laws of how they have to live and what they have to do. And there's frustration growing in the people.
Sure.
Now, Korah, as I mentioned in the commentary about being motivated by his wife, was, in my opinion, driven by greed and avarice and wanting to have more for her through his wife's wishes, more recognition, and felt that he could be a better leader. I don't think he was necessarily going against God, but I think maybe he was taking other people's frustration and taking advantage of it for his own position. Did he go about it the right way? Absolutely not. Did he go about it in a manner with good motives? Absolutely not. So I think what they're telling us is that our motives need to be honorable, for us to be honorable. And Korah showed that he was not honorable throughout all of his actions. And the result of it was, again, pretty ugly.
Yeah, I think that's beautifully said, right? That I think that Korach is a great leader to show us probably not how to do this. And sometimes we need that. Like he's probably a great example of how not to achieve what you want to achieve. which, by the way, just like Rabbi Kahn pointed out for us, the Torah gives us the opportunities for us to move and attempt for leadership and be part of a leadership group and to push up against something and to have dialogue and to argue with God and to argue with other leaders. Like that becomes our job. But it's not, but Korach, thankfully, is here to show us not how to do that because it's the wrong way to do it. Yeah, who's on the Zoom? Ian. Hey, Ian.
Hey. Hi, guys. So, yeah, I guess I'm here to do my job, although I won't start the revolution just yet, Rabbi.
Do it. I can't wait. Do it.
I agree with Harry for the most part. Korach is a bit of a wise guy. I guess the only thing that I would say here is that I feel like we're kind of making an assumption that this grand action that he makes is the first time he's approaching Moses with these issues. And it seems like this is the way that I read it was that this is a built-up frustration over time that he is sort of like asking these questions of Moses time and time again, and Moses' response each time is, well, why are you asking this? I'm Moses, I run the show here. And that builds up in frustration until he goes about it the wrong way. I guess I'm just seeing that from his point of view, how he would do that. That doesn't make it the right way. But I guess I could see if a leader is obtuse in that fashion, how the people wandering the desert might wind up losing their patience a little easier.
No, I think it's a fabulous point, and I think if the text had a movie based on it, I would completely agree with you, and I think that Korach is probably infuriated in the dialogue. I mean, I don't see Korach in this situation being like, hey Mo, morning, got you a cup of coffee. I want to talk to you a couple of things that have been bothering me. Do you have a few minutes? I don't see that happening. I see him stick in hand, 250 people behind him, sticks, screaming. Like I see him approaching this. Was that kill the beast? Exactly, right? Thank you for making a little Disney. That was beautiful. I picture that. That's great, Ian. I mean, I don't think this is a cup of coffee list conversation. Give a few minutes for us to talk about a couple of things that frustrate me. I think it's 250 people, men, clearly, right, who are angry and frustrated, and it doesn't come across well. So I think that's a good point. Now, why he gets there is also an interesting thing that we just don't know. It's just not in the text. So why does he get to that frustrated level? Maybe it's the type of person that he is. Maybe there are instances that, because we all have different perspectives, so maybe everyone else is seeing Moses as this very nice, very humble guy, and maybe it's Korach who sees him as, every time I try to say something to him, his answer is, I don't know. God said to do it. I don't know. Like maybe that's his response every time. Like, I'm sorry, Korach. I can't help you there. God told me to do it this way. I'm sorry, I can't help you there. God said to do it this way. But if I heard that over and over and over again, I'd be like, come on. Like, how many times do I have to bring you a suggestion or an idea before you handle my idea? So, all right, 1 and then 2. It certainly can be, yeah.
But yet, I sort of can understand Korach's frustration because Moses, God just talks to you, so, I thought we're trying to learn that God is in the mid, we all have access to God, but it's not, coming out that way.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Look, I mean, Rabbi Kahn also mentioned this. Like, it's just a few weeks ago that we learned the beautiful words, right? Because it's in Kedoshim that be holy because I'm holy. So we are a holy people. I mean, God tells us that we're a holy people. So, right, we are the chosen people, right? So, but that word chosenness can be thrown in our faces because you think, oh, you're better than we are. Or if we think about it like the Jewish people do, we can think about it and think like, oh my gosh, we're the chosen people, which means we got to work 10 times harder than everyone else, A, because we're this big, and also because we have so much more work that we have to do. So we can say, oh, we're chosen. There's the oh, we're better than you, or there's the Tevye version, right? Got the great line in Fiddler on the Roof, and he says, I know we're so special, whatever, we're chosen people, but sometimes why can't you choose somebody else, right? Like that's a great line from Fiddler on the Roof, because like enough choosing us, like thank you, but choosing us over and over again is exhausting, right? So, but there's a nuance into how each one of us will interpret that. So I'm chosen like I'm better than you, or I'm chosen like, oh, I'm chosen. So now what? Now 10 times work. Now more interaction, more work, more, right? So more pressure. Thank you. Yeah, Harry.
I'd like to bring us into today's thought now.
Great.
So Korach was, I understand, fairly wealthy man. He had a fair amount of property, cattle and other things. He had no little tribe within the tribe of his group. So putting it in today's perspective, I mentioned greed and avarice a moment ago was the motivating factor. I think it's something that we should look at today for ourselves because we have a concept of believing more is better at any price.
Uh-huh.
And Korah, what they're showing us here is what maybe we should practice in today and keep more balanced and not just more is better, but more is better in the right manner.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just part of the learning of Korach is that there has to be righteousness in all these things, right? And there has to be righteousness in all these actions.
I'm not sure righteousness is that word, but perhaps it's a better word that's what I use it.
I think righteousness is a great word because righteousness can be played in a lot of different ways also. I think righteousness is an awesome word because righteousness can be talked about to be like righteousness, right? That's like, wow, I think of like someone who's like a tzaddik, like someone like tzedek, right? Like you should pursue justice and just, right? All those things is a beautiful way to look at it. Or righteousness is like, aha, righteousness like, look at me. Look, I'm higher than you or I'm better than you. So I think righteousness is a great word to say.
So from a personal perspective, when I'm making a decision about something to do I now think of myself as the center of the scale. The right side is gold, and the other side is blood and guts. And how much do I give or wish to do what?
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep balance, and that's what I think we're telling this series that Korah calls balance.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting way to look at it. I think it's also a very messy scale, Harry. But yeah, you got it. But yes, but no, yeah, no, I don't disagree. I mean, I think that I think that Korach is here for a very important reason. The reason the Korach sits right in this spot and why Korach is so important is for us to have this dialogue about the pendulum and where we go with it, like how we swing it properly. Rabbi?
I also think the most fascinating part to me is the very next line that Moses falls on his face.
Yes, we haven't even gotten there yet. Yes, but go on, take us.
Because Moses sometimes does react self-righteously.
Yes.
Sometimes he does, get mad.
This is verse 4, by the way.
So
Yes.
the fact, if Korah was screaming in his face and Moses screamed back, who knows how it would have turned out. But Moses becomes the good guy because he responds by falling on his face and saying, let's bring it to God.
Yeah.
And that is the lesson for me, is not just about how to approach others when you're angry, but how to respond when angry people approach you.
Awesome. Right. That he could have pulled the stick out the same way and been like, you listen to me. Right? I'm in charge here. But, beautifully pointed out, right? He doesn't. He like completely retreats. And because I'm a Moses lover, I mean, I think probably he's like overwhelmed by this. I mean, I think he's probably like shocked and saddened by it. Like, and I think it probably hit him. I think it hit him probably as like a ton of bricks. Like, wait a second, someone's mad at me. Like, I didn't even plan on doing this. Like, I don't mean to be in charge. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry that it came across this way. That's my view of Moses here, because I think he's like, oh, I did this to you. I didn't mean to do this to you. If you're upset, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you're upset, right? That's how it comes across to me, because again, I'm biased. I'm going to always try and support him as much as I can. Yes, who's in there? Who wants to chime in? Please.
Ron and Marcia.
Okay.
Rabbi.
Hi, Ron.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Ron.
Okay. Yes, this makes me think of how someone like Mordechai Kaplan would have approached this whole thing. Of course, we know this is a subject that was very dear to his heart, those of us who studied a little bit about him, with regards to particularly the subject of chosenness. But I would, if he were still alive today, he passed away, I believe, in 1983 at 103 years old. And but if he were alive today, how would he look at what's going on in today's world with Black Lives Matter and the gay rights movement, and how would he? I mean, would he still feel that just the idea of chosenness, would that be something that was still where he wanted to say that all people are equal and all people are believed to be one not better than other?
I think it's a good question, and I think that he'd be an incredibly good ally. I think Mordechai Kaplan would be devastated in the world, and I think that he would be a great ally and a good balanced ally in the conversations that he would have because of his level of education, and I think that he would provide a lot of interesting angle and very, very good topics of conversation in this kind of mess that we're in. Wherever we fall on the spectrum of things, I think we'll agree that we're in a mess, and I think that Mordechai Kaplan would jump on there. So yeah, it's an interesting point. Thanks, Ron. Marcia.
Yeah, Moses remembers.
We know it's Marcia Davis because Marcia's right here. So yeah, yeah, Marcia Davis. Go ahead.
Moses remembers the golden calf incident, and I think he's fearful for these people, and he doesn't know what to do. And that memory has to come back and haunt him. Like, so many people died because of that rebellion, and here it is again. So, that's all I have to say.
Nice. Yes.
The line that stood out to me the whole time is why don't you raise yourself above the Lord's congregation? And I think that speaks to Korach's motive, because I think he was jealous. I mean, Moses was chosen, and that was sort of known.
Yeah.
Again, was a humble man. He raised himself above everybody. He was there for everybody.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think it's the perspective. We don't know what was charging Korach. Like, we don't know, what was really, behind his frustration necessarily. The buildup. Yeah.
I also think it's pretty brave of Korach to do something like this, because not too long ago we witnessed in Acharimot Aaron's sons who thought, oh, I can also do what
Yeah.
is being asked of whatever, and they went and did it, and we know how that ended up. So for Korach to go ahead and be like, I can do this too, it's pretty brave, because Korach did witness that.
He did.
Not too long ago.
He did. It ends pretty similarly, though. So it's interesting that you bring up the two boys, because it ends up just about the same actually for Korach and his band of men. But yes, Gail.
I was just going to say, what happened with the covenant God had with us after Noah, that he wasn't going to, I know he didn't destroy the world, but were there any other alternatives than Korach and his men being consumed by the ground? And why did he do that for Hitler?
Well, right. I mean, I think that taking the text of the Torah is we try to apply for a lot of the modern concepts, and it becomes a lot more complicated. And the Shoah is always in our dialogue. I think that there's no easy response to it. I often think when it comes to the Shoah that it's not God who lets it happen. It's that us who let it happen. It's the humans let Shoah happen, not God who lets Shoah happen. So, but that's another dialogue for some other time.
For chance.
But so let's start to bring our chat to a close and just pick up on some of the words that, in my opinion, steer us into where we sort of end up with Korach. In that, the first words of Korach, which the first word in the Torah portion, is vayikach, and vayikach means to take, and because it doesn't say that in the English, right? But vayikach in Hebrew means to take. And all the commentaries say problem number one is in the first word. The first word already tells us Korach's in trouble, because he already begins the dialogue with trying to take something as opposed to trying to converse about something or learn about something or have a dialogue about something. So that's the first problem. The second problem, or the second nuance brought up beautifully by Rabbi Kahn, is that in verse 4, when Korach shows up the way that he does, and Moses then reacts in the way that he does, which is very different. And it's Moses who says, "I gotta ask God. I don't know. I don't know what to do here. Maybe you want to be in charge for a while. I'm exhausted. I don't know. You take this big stick I'm schlepping around. I don't know. You do it. You deal with the whining and the Israelites, and they want water and they don't want water, and the food's good, the food's bad. I don't know. You deal with it for a couple of days. I don't want to deal with it. Who knows?" But that doesn't happen because Moses is Moses, right? So and then there is the next problem, where if we go a little bit further, and you go to verse 12 for a second, it says, after this sort of conversation that happens, Moses then sends for the Datan and Aviram, and they also say, you know what, we're not even coming up to you. Lo na'aleh, it says. And na'aleh, beautiful word, we will not come up to you. We will not even give you, like, we don't even think that you're good enough for us to come to see you. Right? So, but then that's no bueno. Like, that's not okay. Right? It's Moses. So that's also a very bad situation. And then there's ultimately the how it boils down, and it's not great. And it says, let's go there. Let's go to. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Ian, go ahead.
Go ahead, Ian.
Well, I was just curious about that because Datan and Abiram don't die, right? Like they survived this.
No.
Well, they appear in the census later on.
I think it's their I think, really? Did they appear in the census?
I don't know. That was the commentary that I read this week on it. That it was like weird. I didn't understand it. That they appear in like, I think it's like Numbers 25 or 26 or something. They're like the census when they're going into the land.
Well, I think probably prior, because they were around prior to the.
I want to find
to
it.
the incident. Okay.
I'll send you an email.
Okay. All right. Great. All right. So let's look at verse. It's like 27. 27. Do you want to read a little bit more? Please, 27.
So they withdrew from about the abodes of Korach, Dathan, and Abiram. Now Dathan and Abiram had come out, and they stood at the entrance of their tents with their wives, their children, and their little ones. And Moses said, "By this you shall know that it was the Eternal who sent me to do all these things, that they are not of my own devising. If these people's death is that of all humankind, if their lot is humankind's common fate, it was not the Eternal who sent me. But if the Eternal brings about something unheard of, so that the ground opens its mouth and swallows them up with all that belongs to them, and they go down alive into Sheol, you shall know that these fellows have spurned the Eternal."
All right. So this is Moses saying, I don't have control over this. It's not me. It's not me. However, if it is you and this is going down really poorly, it's going to go down really poorly, and that's how it's going to go down, right? That's the little explanation. And then here's immediately after, verse 31.
Scarcely had he finished speaking all these words, when the ground under them burst asunder, and the earth opened its mouth and swallowed them up with their households, all Korach's people and all their possessions. They went down alive into Sheol with all that belonged to them. The earth closed over them, and they vanished from the midst of the congregation. All Israel around them fled at their shrieks, for they said, "The earth might swallow us." And a fire went forth from the Eternal and consumed the 250 representatives offering the incense.
Okay. So don't mess with Moses. This way, at least, right? Now, here is the good third grade camp story. Part of this is that they went down alive. So what you like to say is, at night around the campfire, if you listen closely, you can still hear the shrieking of Korach and the 250 men from the center of the earth screaming alive. It says so in the text. So they go down alive to Sheol. Sheol, we presume, is something really bad. And there go Korach and Korach's men down alive into Sheol around the campfire, still there.
One of those guys was Freddie, right?
Freddie, yeah. So here is this really cool and interesting commentary that you can take it or leave it. I did not make it myself. Okay. So if you know, a lot of the times on Friday nights particularly, Cantor Muchnick during Kabbalat Shabbat will chant a certain psalm for us. It's Psalm 92, and in Psalm 92 there's this word Tzadik Katamar Ifrach, and there's a lot of tunes to it. You can sing it. Here's what's one option. Yes. Right, so there's a lot of fun little tunes for it. It's a psalm. It's very uplifting. It's part of Psalm 92, which is a psalm for Shabbat. So it's perfect for Shabbat. We do it all the time with a bunch of different tunes and things. Also, the other one is Tzadik Katama Yifrach. Yes, great. So nice. Now here's what a commentary says. Take it or leave it. I did not invent it. But if you take the word Tzadik Katamar Yifrach. So what does Tzadik Katamar Ifrach mean? What's a tzaddik? What's a tzaddik? A righteous person. What's ke tamar? Kmo tamar. What's a tamar? an olive tree, like an olive tree, or like a fruit tree, more like a fruit tree. And then what's Ifrach? Will bloom. Yes. So it's a beautiful phrase. Tzaddik katamar yifrach, like righteous people will sort of bloom like this tree, or righteousness blooms like this tree. It's a beautiful connection, right? Tzaddik katamar ifrach. Here's the commentary. Didn't make it up. If you take the last letter of each word, tzaddik, katamar, ifrach, you get the word Korach. You get the word Korach. So what does the commentary tell us? A, rabbis have lots of time on their hands. That is number one. Number two, though, what the commentary really says is, each of us, even in the derivation of how our names are put together and how our letters work, have the opportunity to be tzaddik, to be righteous. And even more so for Korach, did he have the chance to be a righteous man because it was part of his own name and part of the own structure, and yet he chose not to do what he wanted to do in a righteous way. That he chose even more so, even within a structure that he had to do it, chose not to be righteous in his path of doing what he wanted to do. So, take it or leave it. I did not make it up. But it is an interesting commentary. And I learned it actually this past year, and now it's actually ruined Tzaddik Katamar Ifrach for me, because every time I see it, I see Korach in the words, and now I apologize for those of you who even are paying attention. I ruined it for you, and I'm sorry that we might have done that. So, okay.
Did you want to mention what you mentioned on your Friday afternoon video about getting honey?
Oh, it's a honey versus vinegar, right? It was the same thing. It was the same thing I said, right? I mean, there's a way to do things, right? If you want to get something done, there's a way that there's a nuance in which you do it. Like if you want to, you catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar, right? So that's the whole idea. If he wanted to catch more flies, if Korach wanted to catch more flies and so really have this stage and opportunity to talk to Moses, he might have done so more with honey than he chose to do so with vinegar, but clearly he came across with vinegar and it didn't end well for him.
Is that the same though, that if he did do it with honey, that the end still wouldn't have been the same for Korach and his men? Because
Who knows? Who knows? And it's beautiful you asked that question because right, that's about everything that we do in our lives, right? Had we done it this way, like even in our most agitated state, perhaps, attacked someone or an idea or a concept with the vinegar, then who knows if we would have done it with honey, what the outcome would have been in our lives, in a relationship, in a conversation, in a situation. So it's a beautiful drash to think about. So who knows? We'll never know. Now all we have to do is listen at night and hear the voices of Korach and Korach screaming for the therapy that I caused to the children. It's Jewish summer camp. Whatever happens there is fine. They're all right. They're all right. They're fine. Yeah, throw 'em a marshmallow. Yeah. So thank you, everyone, for an excellent conversation. Thank you for those of you who are, there's the book closed officially. Thank you for those on our Zoom. We're so happy that you're able to join us. We love it.
Can you keep us for the Mishabera?
Yes, absolutely. We'll keep you in this form for Mishaberach. So still amidst our Torah study, we are going to think of those in our community who are in need of healing, of physical, emotional, or spiritual healing. If you are thinking of someone and you would like to share their name, please share their name at this time.
Bob Schwartz, Bobby Levy, Ross Levy, and Raymond
Barney Craig, London, Jolie George, Stu Froment, Sandy Tankos, Ken Tankos, Lawrence May, Russell Tepper, all those affected by the war in Ukraine, hate crimes, and violence.
Ron, go ahead.
Leah Badrivka, Esther Badrivka, Meir Badrivka, Judy Levine, Rivka Chaya Badleya, Nomi Badleya, Sandy and Ken Tankus, Beth Bat Edith, Carmela Bat Sarah Vadov, Harriet Pearson, Ian Hest.
Marcia?
Marcia Davis, did you want to add someone? No, okay, all right.
My sister Gay Taylor, Eddie Strauss, Malone Kagan, Connie Griffin, Michael Winter, Danny Franklin.
Further text, I would cite it. Be with you. Action New York.
Mishaberach on page 253. Mishaberach Avotenu v'Imotenu Avraham, Yitzchak v'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Chelev Le'ahu, Berechet HaCholim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Imeleh Rachamim Alehem, Lachlimam U'Potam Nachzikam V'Yishlach Lehem Meira Refuah Shlama Min HaShamayim, Refuat HaNefesh U'Refuat HaGuf, Hashta Bagalav Zman Kariv V'Nomar Amen. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their strength to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit. As together we say, Amen.
Amen.
All right, Zoom friends, we are going to be turning off the Zoom, but you're welcome to jump back onto our live stream, which we hope has been working throughout the service, and have a wonderful Shabbat. And everyone,
Thank you, Rabbi.
everyone feel good.
Cantor, welcome.
Thank you,
Rabbi
Cantor. Thank you,
Kahn.
everybody.
All right, we're out. All the tech today, still working. It's impressive. We are going to end our Torah service, Etz Chaim, on page 256.
Etz Chaim hi lama chazikim ba v'tomcheha meushar deracheha darchei noam v'chol netivoteha shalom hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva Chadesh Chadesh Yameinu Chadesh Yameinu Kikedem.
Here's the flyer I was supposed to use last night that I didn't because I forgot it in my office, but here it is now. Although we remembered all of the upcoming events. So here's our CBI summer programming flyer, all happening on Thursdays. This coming Thursday, the 7th at 11:30 a.m. in our VIP lounge. There is a location, which we forgot to mention yesterday, is our coffee and conversation. So come and hang out with us, schmooze, talk about the Torah portion. It was designed to be 2 clergy and conversation, but now it's 3 clergy and conversation. So come and hang out with all 3 of us as we talk about the Torah portion for next week, which is not yet. Chukat. It's the most difficult Torah portion for me in in the whole Torah. It's tough. It's tough. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Moses finds out he can't go in the promised land. Aaron dies, and Miriam dies. All next week. It's tough for Moses. It's tough for Moses. But now we're going to talk about it. All right. The following week, the 14th, at 6:30 p.m. at Bolero is our CBI bowling night. So come and bowl with us. It's going to be fun. As I mention every time we talk about it, Cantor Mushni is going to be showing his bowling skills to everyone.
I will not.
It's $25 for everything. That's 2 hours. It's the shoes. It's the drinks. I think because we're going to get pictures of beer and hang out and schmooze and get a bunch of the really terrible bowling snacks. Love bowling snacks. They're so bad. It's good bowling snacks. And then cinema night is on the 21st, 7 p.m. We'll be screening the movie called Defending Your Life, which if you have not seen it, you should come and see it. It's with Meryl Streep and Albert Brooks, and it's a very, very good movie. So first of all, it's a good movie, and second of all, we'll have really good snacks. I talked to Minda about we're going to have good, proper cinema snacks, so which are very important. And then that's not on Zoom. No, it's in person. That's here. Yeah, that's here. That's here. Yeah, it's also in the VIP lounge, so it'll be inside with air conditioning and hopefully a movie that works if our technology works. It's going to be really great. And then the last Thursday is the 28th, and we're going to have blankets and bagels. And that's at 11:30 a.m., also in the VIP lounge. So we're going to make blankets for hospital patients, and we're going to donate them. So that's all the upcoming nice announcements. Israel trip is open. We already have people registered for the Israel trip. It is official. Yes, registered people are registered for Israel. So that means that it's moving. So it's not this June, guys. It's in 23. Yeah, it's next year. Great. All right. So yes, and a bunch of other stuff. If you know youth, anyone who wants to come and do some youth programming, our brand new youth director on the same day as our brand new rabbi has shown up here at CBI, Annie Rosenthal, and she will be doing parallel youth stuff the Friday nights of July. So starting next Friday, she'll be doing youth parallel stuff. So tell anyone you know who wants to come and hang out here, be youthful, and hang out with Annie. So that's all the stuff coming up. All right, we're going to begin to conclude our service. Aleinu and Kaddish. Aleinu 282. Together we stand.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
We transition our thoughts to Kaddish Yatom, to Mourner's Kaddish. We think in the period of Shiva, of Muriel Bleiweiss and Joan Katz, and in the period of Shloshim, the immediate 30-day mourning period, Marvin Revich. And our yortzais that occur for us on this Shabbat: Thomas Atkins, Esther Averbach, Alexander Brager, J. Paul Breakstone, Rivka Brovitz, Ethel Ehrlich, Morris Faig, Victor Hescheles, Alan Hest, Max Hoffman, Lita Hyman, Rose Joseph, Elaine Kligman, Murray Kogan, Charles Lifton, Ned Marcus, Rosalind Newman, Melvin Rosen, Charlotte Rosenberg, Shulamit Salem, Jack Small, Goldie Wolf, Joseph Zoll. And to those names, we had any name that you would like to add at this time. Kaddish Yatom Monros Kadesh 294. Yitgadal v'yikadash shmei Rabbah ve'amad yivrach chirutei ve'amlich malchutei v'chayechon v'yomeichon v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael b'agala v'zman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach leolam olmei olmaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'a v'yitomam v'yitnaseh v'yitada v'yitalev v'yitala shmei kodesha brichu Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, dam iran ba'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehei Shlomo Rabba min Shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'momav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, as together we say, Amen. Amen. Please be seated. We're going to conclude on this fine Shabbat morning with
Ein Kelohenu.
Ein Kelohenu 322.
Ein Kelohenu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kemalkeinu, Ein Kemoshienu, Mi Kelohenu, Mi Kadonenu, Mi Kemalkeinu, Mi Kemoshienu. Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adonenu, Nodel Malkeinu, Nodel Moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu.
Adonai Oz La'amo Yiten, Adonai Varech et Amo V'Shalom. May God give strength unto our people. Continue to bless us with hope and strength and love and peace. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Shabbat Shalom.